So a few years back when social media started really getting big, like Facebook, Twitter, etc., some companies were playing with the idea of, who needs a website? We have Facebook, we have Twitter, etc. And now what I'm hearing is that they're moving off of Facebook. They're realizing that having their own website is hugely important, because what Facebook is the most pernicious, in my opinion. You build up your Facebook presence, you build up a page, and then Facebook will start throttling back how many people within your community that you built up on Facebook were actually seeing your message. You had to build up their site, Facebook site, within your page, your Facebook commercial page, build up your presence, bring a lot of traffic to Facebook, and then you had to pay them. You had to pay them to fully reach your audience that you worked so hard to build. So some big media companies are saying, forget Facebook, back to their own site, and they're realizing that they have to develop their own web presence and web properties off of social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, etc., Instagram. You have to do that. You have to have a combined approach when you're going out there to showcase yourself as a developer or as a freelancer, or to showcase some sort of SaaS you may be putting out, software as a service, SaaS equals software as a service, or your clients as well. One of the jobs of a freelance developer should be to be able to provide at least some basic guidance in terms of web marketing or of web presence. So let's say you meet a client and they want to put up a WordPress information site, an information-rich site, so you might use a CMS like WordPress or Drupal or something, or whatever CMS you want. But in addition to that, you got to tie that in with a social presence. So don't get me wrong, you have to have a social presence these days, and depending on the type of business, you may find certain social media sites are better than others. So for me, for example, I do have a Facebook presence, but Facebook is like a second thought to me. I find YouTube to be the best for me, especially given the type of content, and I just want to get my message out, whether it be to individuals or to institutions, schools, etc. who want to use my software. That said, so scratch that. So as a freelancer, as a developer, you have to consider the site, the website representing the business or the product, and how it relates to the social media presence. So you should have a plan in that regard, and you should be able to, as a freelancer, provide at least some basic guidance. So you see the business, you build their site, you put in their CMS, you tie it in with some Facebook presence, you tie it in with maybe an Instagram presence, maybe a YouTube presence, depending, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now I'm not going to get into details here. I just wanted to bring that up. But one thing you shouldn't do, and companies are starting to learn, the big media companies, you shouldn't just have only social media presence. You need to have a home base. You need to nurture your own spot on the web, and that's your website. So don't forget that. Big companies are starting to realize the mistake they made in relying just on Facebook. That's always a bad idea. Diversify out. Have a presence outside of social media, because at the end of the day, you don't have much control over your social media presence inside of individual sites, because they can choose to shut you down at any moment or cut you off from your audience at any moment. There you go. I hope that's helpful.